Imagine a stray dog, alone in the cold, without a friend in the world. But when all hope is lost, something miraculous happens that changes everything. Today, let me tell you about Max and the night he was saved by an unexpected visitor. Max was no ordinary stray. For years, he'd roamed the streets, known by a few people in the neighborhood as the scrappy, shy dog that was always one step ahead of animal control. But as time wore on, life on the streets took a toll. With every harsh winter, Max grew weaker, his once bright spirit dimming under the weight of countless lonely nights. As the latest winter swept in with biting winds and freezing rain, Max's strength finally started to fade. And one night, he limped into an alley, exhausted and barely able to walk, his body worn out from fighting just to survive. He lay down on the cold ground, knowing that this might be the end. His paws were bleeding, his coat was matted, and his breathing had become a soft, shallow rasp. No one was there to comfort him, and the world seemed darker than ever. But as Max closed his eyes, ready to surrender to the silence, a strange warmth began to fill the air around him. At first, it was just a subtle glow, a soft light that he sensed through his closed eyelids. And then, he felt a presence, a calming, loving energy unlike anything he'd ever known. Though he couldn't see her, Archangel Ariel had appeared by his side, drawn to his unspoken plea for help. In that quiet, forgotten alley, Ariel reached out, her invisible touch filled with compassion and healing. Slowly, Max's shallow breaths grew deeper. The pain in his body faded, replaced by a warmth that spread from his paws to the tips of his ears. Ariel's power gently mended his wounds and soothed his weary spirit. And just as mysteriously as she had come, the glow faded, and the alley was still once more. But Max was different. When he opened his eyes, there was a spark of life in them, a strength he hadn't felt in years. The next morning, a kind-hearted woman named Sarah was passing by, on her way to work. She had taken the same route for years, but today, something stopped her. She glanced down the alley and spotted Max, sitting upright, his eyes bright and alert as if he'd been waiting for her. Drawn to him, she approached and saw something in his gaze that moved her. She couldn't explain it, but in that moment, she knew she had to help him. Sarah took Max home, where he found warmth, food, and kindness for the first time in years. And as their bond grew, it was as though Max had found his true place in the world, a life that was always meant for him. Days later, as Sarah was cleaning around the house, she found a small, shimmering feather just outside her door. It wasn't any ordinary feather. It seemed to glow softly, a gentle reminder of the angelic presence that had watched over Max. Sarah smiled, feeling a deep sense of peace. In her heart, she knew that Max's survival had been more than just a coincidence. It was a miracle, a gift from an unseen guardian who believed that even the smallest, most forgotten lives were worth saving. So, whenever you see a stray animal or hear a story about a miraculous recovery, remember Max and the night he was saved. Sometimes, even in the darkest moments, we're not as alone as we think. And in those rare, beautiful moments, an angel might just be there, watching over. Thanks for watching. Now, we would love to hear from you. If you were Lucifer, how would you punish? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more intense stories.